We've got so many new faces at several positions and a lot of young guys in camp. So really just trying to get better every day. And that's been our focus, is to try to improve each day. I think one of the real advantages everybody has around the country in the last couple of years is that the NCAA is permitting us now to meet with our players in the summer. So we were able to watch some film and have some chalk talks with our veterans throughout the summer, which I really think got us ahead in terms of installation, and that's helped. It's maybe the first time ever that we've kind of put a wish list. Hey, we'd like to get these things in during preseason camp, and we've been able to stay on schedule. The young guys have been behind a little bit, but they're catching up, and we've got some really talented young players that we're excited about. So just again, trying to get better and get this team prepared. There's a lot of places we have no idea who the starter's going to be, what kind of team we're going to be offensively or defensively, just because we've got a lot of new guys. Sure, there's a lot of positions where we've got veterans coming back. Defensively, Jeremy Timpf and Andrew King and Chris Carnegie, guys like that have played in a lot of football games. Certainly, they've got a pretty strong hold on their positions, and having veterans like that is important, and that helps the young guys be able to say, hey, if I'm going to play, I'm going to have to beat that guy out. He's a good player, and I think it helps create competition at those positions. TJ Atamalala is having a good camp. He's our nose right now. He'll likely be our starter. I think he's established himself pretty good there. I think Bailey Wolf's had a good camp at outside linebacker. He went through the spring with us, and I think that helped him. We got a lot of young guys at that position. Bailey played a little bit last year, but wasn't a full-time starter. So that's a very inexperienced position for us. John Voight backed up Joe Drummond last year, but had a really good spring and has had a really good preseason camp, and he's certainly going to be one of the starters on the defensive line. So there's some positions like that where we got some guys we're pretty sure on. On offense, there's a lot of guys on the offensive line that have played, and if there was any advantage to playing 12 different offensive lines last year, it's probably that, just the fact that we've got some experience. But Matt Hugenberg, who played every snap of every game last year, is back at center. Gilbert, Justin is having a really good camp, and by this time last year, unfortunately, he was hurt and out for the season. So we've moved him to guard, and I think he's really going to help us at that position. Ryan Alexander's played a lot. Andrew Hennessy's played a lot. Brett Toth is having a really good camp. He's a sophomore. Was very underdeveloped physically last year. Played some, but he's gained about 40 pounds in the off season. So I think that's going to be a solid bunch of guys. Kelvin White at tight end played a lot for us last year. Edgar Poe at wide receiver. We moved Xavier Moss to safety, and he's certainly one of our safeties, a starter over there. He's such a good athlete and really had a good spring and has had a good camp there. But all the other skill positions were very inexperienced. Even at B-back with Jacinta and Kemp, who were part-time guys, but backed up Larry, who played most of the snaps. And then our slot back position, we've got one player on our team that's actually been in a game at that position, Joe Walker. So we've got a lot of guys that are going to be playing for the first time, and there'll be some freshmen playing there and in several places. Oh, we got to play better fundamentally. We got to block better, not miss blocks that are important for us to get the runs started. Be it in the interior or on the perimeter. We got to tackle better. We did a very poor job of that last year. Too many big plays against us, and not enough big plays in our favor. So I hope that we'll improve in those areas, the fundamentals, and doing those things better. I hope we'll play good in the kicking game. We got all three of our specialists back, and that is one area where we feel like we've got a veteran group that's really going to be able to impact our football team, with Grachowski being the kicker, Tardu being the punter, and Farley being the snapper, and I hope we'll be able to make some big plays in the kicking game. For a team like us, we're going to need to make some plays in that phase. He's been hurt the last couple of days and hasn't practiced with us. I thought he had a good start to camp. Unfortunately, he's got a little bit of a hamstring pull, and we expect to see him back here in the next couple of days. It'll be interesting to see how that quarterback battle plays out with Bradshaw and AJ. I think those two guys are kind of at the top of the group right now, But we've got some other guys in camp. Matt Kaufman, who's been in the program. We've got a couple of young quarterbacks, freshmen, that have showed a lot of promise, and certainly gives us something to be excited about for the future. But I think really the battle's between AJ and Ahmad right now, and I don't know if either has pulled away from each other yet. I think AJ, probably at the beginning of camp, just with his confidence and the playing experiences playing experience he had, kind of put him in front. But being hurt has given Ahmad the chance to take a lot of reps with the ones the last couple of days, and that's going to help him. So I think they're both capable of being our quarterback. It'll be interesting to see who kind of pulls out of the pack and has the confidence to lead our team. It'll depend. It'll depend on who the quarterback is and who the B-back is, and I think just the teams I've been a part of over the years, we've always just felt like you got to be good down the middle. We got to have a good center. You got to have a good quarterback, and you got to have a good B-back. And over the years, if you look at who's run the ball, who's carried the ball for the most yards, it's been the quarterback and the B-back. So I think we're a quarterback-centered offense, and maybe a lot of people would say that, but our quarterback's got to make every decision, and he's got to carry the ball a lot for us, and has oftentimes been a 1,000-yard rusher and 1,000-yard passer. We've had guys that gone 1,000 in the same year, and so that's an important position. When we figure out who the quarterback is, that'll probably dictate more where we're going to lean in terms of who's going to get the carries. We're just going to try to do it better. It's an offense that I've been a part of the last 18 years. I believe in it. It's a great offense. It's been one that's been very productive and allowed us to be very successful, or contributed to us being very successful. And I expect it will here too. I'll just tackle better. I mean, we just play our gaps, play our assignments, and tackle better. And I don't know that we did any of those things really well last year. We had some spots where you can look and we feel like, hey, we were playing pretty good defense right there, but not consistently enough. And we got to take care of that. So hopefully, as the guys have grown and gotten some experience playing and gone through the spring and again through preseason camp with us this year, that'll improve. That position is really young, particularly because there's really nobody else to play. We got Joe Walker, who's played some games there, hadn't started a game at slot back since he's been here. We moved John Trainer from wide receiver to slot. I really like John. I think he's a very athletic kid and is going to be able to help us there. And then the whole rest of the crew is all freshmen. But I think they've got a lot of ability. We've got some fast kids there, undersized, couple of guys, but that probably is more the likes of the kind of slot backs we've played with over the years. We've traditionally had smaller, quicker, faster guys, and they've been able to do a great job for us. And I think it's one of the advantages in our offense, and particularly at this school. There's a lot of guys out there to recruit that are like that. Not everybody wants an undersized guy, and for us, size isn't the most important factor. Speed is really important to us, and if it means taking an undersized guy that can run, we'll do that. And we got a place to play him, and slot back's the spot. So I'm really excited about that whole group of guys we got right there. I've got enough concern about Fordham that I'm not going to concern myself with the whole season and what we're going to accomplish. Certainly, we'll have some goals for this team that we'll set and we'll try to accomplish. And part of that is looking at the whole season and every opponent. But right now, our sole focus is on the Fordham game. They got an outstanding football team. They've been very successful, a playoff team. Won over 20 games in the last 2 years. So good team, and we're going to play our very best just to have a chance in that football game.
You mentioned you had some long-term goals. Can you get specific?
Those goals aren't decided by me. They're decided by our players. So I leave that up to the team. It's their team, not mine, and they'll decide what's important to them, and then we'll put those goals up, and we'll do our very best to see that we do everything we can to accomplish those goals, one at a time, and that's all you can do. If you start looking at the season in parts, then you start setting goals for different parts of the season. And you fall into, hey, if we have early success, then we're satisfied with that, and then that'll give us some leeway to not play good in the second part of the season. And we want to play our best. We want to try to improve every week and play the best that we can. And in order for us to do that, we're going to have to improve as a football team. And each opportunity to play, every opponent, hopefully we're going to learn something and get better, and our guys will grow. And my hope is that we'll be playing a lot better as a football team in the last game than we are in the first game. I'm really excited about the kids we got in our program, the young kids, and there's going to be a lot of them play. And what's so unique here is the prep school factor, and I think we put some really good guys in our prep school last year, and hopefully there's some good ones there now. The thing that's unique about this class, the guys who just reported to campus, whether it's here direct or sitting in our meeting room every day, or the kids that went to the prep school, is we had a whole year to recruit those guys, to evaluate and really figure out where our needs were and who were the best guys as a fit for West Point. So hopefully we were right, and I've never been anywhere where you've been right on every guy, and we're not going to be right on every guy. But I think we got some really good, young, talented kids, and I'm anxious to see them grow. It's hard to rely on a lot of freshmen. There's not too many football teams around the country that are winning a lot of games, playing a lot of freshmen, and we may need to do that. And if we do, then hopefully they'll grow up quick and be able to perform. And again, time will tell. We got 3 more weeks.